What's up guys, welcome to my own guide for PvP, specifically in Skywars. I've got daily requests from people asking me for tips on how to get better, so I finally decided to make a tips video for you guys. Before we get into the depths of my information, I'd first like to tell you guys that there's gonna be keywords in the video, so that it is easier to follow. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Of course, the first thing I would say is play with a keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse are, as you probably know, the best for a good PvP experience. Therefore, in this video I will mostly be talking about mouse playing skills. Surprisingly, in BrokenLens there is not much need for high clicks per second. In fact, I only get about 8 clicks per second. However, of course it is wise to train your fingers for high CPS. The higher CPS, the better. That's always a fact. Clicking methods like jitter click, which is basically vibrating your arm, and butterfly click, which is using multiple fingers at once to click, are therefore recommended. However, I just use the good old regular fast click. That's what matters the most is of course the comfortable method for you. The mouse itself is kind of important. If you use an old mouse that was your dad's work mouse, it might not be as good as the gaming mouse. Except if your dad used the gaming mouse, of course. It's best to go ahead and get a gaming mouse because those are way better, comfortable and faster to click with. I myself use a gaming mouse too. I broke my baby mouse a few weeks ago though, and I use a tinier gaming mouse. But I get used to it and it fits me now. A very important factor in PvP is of course to move. You obviously need to move to be able to get near to your enemy to be able to execute a proper melee fight. For BrokenLens it is the best to strafe. Strafing so your enemy cannot hit you. Strafing is in BrokenLens the most useful. Because things like hopping, which is jumping around the player while hitting him/her, is not really something for BrokenLens, and I don't think for Minecraft Bedrock Edition PvP in general. But if you get a hit in the air, you take a lot of knockback, which is not very ideal for games like Skywars. However, if you're in the air, you can achieve a lot of critical hits. These hits damage the player usually around 1.5 times more. Therefore, hopping could be good for cases in games like survival games, One in the Chamber, or any other combat game where you can safely take some knockback. I also jump and hit sometimes too when I'm fighting someone that's inside an island in Skywars, because then I could not take knockback and I can deal as many crits as possible. But back to strafing. Strafing is, like I've said before, the most wise thing to do in Skywars. Strafing includes moving left and right, back and forwards too actually, and even going through the player. A goal that the enemy cannot hit you, but at the same time you want to hit the person as much as possible. So you want to look at him as much as possible while trying to avoid the enemy's hits. The final thing I want to discuss in this part is bridge fights. I'm not a bridge fight expert, in fact I think I'm horrible at it, but I'm here to give tips, so what you will need to do is face the side of the bridge while looking at the enemy, so you can hit the enemy a few times until he finally falls, all that without falling yourself. That's why it is never wrong to make a bridge trap, so you do not need to do this. Of course, something that is very important too, your equipment. You want to have the most powerful stuff to be able to defeat people. Now, we are going to talk long about this subject because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is what you want to loot. Each island includes 2, 3 or 4 chests. These chests include blocks so you can leave your island, food so you can restore your health, weapons to fight and armor to defend, and there's also more stuff. These 4 things I just mentioned are the 4 things you definitely want to loot from your chest: blocks, food, weapons and armor. My advice is, take all the blocks from all the chests so you will not run out of blocks too much. Take most food. Cooked food is what you will want the most. Other things like apples are always wise to take with you too. However, there can be bad or poisonous food too, like a pufferfish. Do not take it. Leave junk behind in the chests. For weapons, there is an interesting story. I have recently figured out that axes in BrokenLens take 2 more attack damage than it says. This is a hidden feature in BrokenLens for some reason, but this means that, for example, the diamond axe is more powerful than the diamond sword is. The iron axe equals the diamond sword and the stone axe equals the iron sword. In the BrokenLens menu you can buy a stone axe, since in Skywars there is beside kits also a tools section. I recommend buying everything in the tools shop as it could be useful for you. Back to weapons. It is unwise to take every weapon or 2 out of the chest, since you won't need it. If you have a stronger weapon than those in the chest, you can leave those. Take the ones that are stronger. If you see a strong weapon but you already have a strong one, take it out anyway to prevent others from laying hands on it. And now the armor. This is where I'm going to mention the kits. In the BrokenLens menu you can buy kits, which you will have every game. My advice for kits is, take Buster Kit if you are a starter in Skywars. Buster Kit in Skywars has full chain armor and 3 steak. This is the ideal beginner kit. But if you are more than a beginner, I advise trying Farmer, which has 64 eggs and 10 cooked chicken, or to try Fisherman, which has a rod, 5 cooked fish and 5 cooked salmon. Both these kits have no armor. I personally use Fisherman for, as a matter of fact, almost a year. Fisherman is just my ideal kit. With Fisherman you can try to hit people with a fishing rod so they take knockback. And if they don't fall off yet, you can just pull back your rod so they get pulled towards you and might fall. If you want the rod to have effect best, you should be somewhere that's higher than your enemy. For example, on a bridge above the enemy's island. For Farmer you can just throw eggs at people, which has quite a lot of knockback. This could be useful too. Farmer Kit's food is a tick or little better than Fisherman. 1 heart more worth of food. This barrier does not matter though. Back to the topic armor. If you use Fisherman or Farmer, you want to get as many armor pieces as possible, unless you don't need them. For Buster or any other kit with armor, you will not need to loot armor unless it is an iron piece of armor. Finally, there is also ores in almost every island in Skywars. These ores give tools, food, effects, etc. Coal gives food, iron gives materials like feathers or flint to make arrows, lapis gives a random weapon, gold gives a random armor piece, redstone increases the maximum of your health by 1 or takes 1 maximum health so that you have 9. So this is a gambling ore. Diamonds give any diamond tool, sword, axe, pickaxe or shovel. And finally, emerald gives a random potion effect. I do not recommend breaking emerald or redstone, since you can get bad effects like blindness for 2 minutes or a horrible health state. I usually only break ores when I'm in danger, or I need something really bad. It's not wise to break a whole island every game. My final piece of advice is to learn skills. I'm talking about skills such as jump wich, to travel from island to island faster, or the clutch, to be able to recover from fails by knowing what to do once you, for example, fall off the map. There are many ways to sell the jump wich, one easier than the other, but once you understand how it works, it is not a big deal. There are a lot of YouTube videos that explain very well how to start a jump wich. Look at the last block before the island ends, sprint and jump to it while looking at it, hold right click and look all the way down. Now keep sprinting and jumping. Jumping is not necessary, but you need to keep your crosshair on a wich, or else it will stop. The way I just described how to do a jump wich is the fastest way to do it. It sounds hard, but all it takes is practice. If you do not understand, try finding tutorials on YouTube. They really help. With clutching, you want to have anapulse, which you can buy in the tool shop. With clutching, you want to have your anapulse, which you can buy in the tool shop in a useful slot in your hotbar. If you fall off, you can quickly hold your anapulse, try to aim as if shooting with a bow to a spot you want to land to, and then right click. Do this as quickly as possible, because the void is quick. With block clutching, you need to have great reflexes too. Try to look on the side of an island if you can place a block against it where you can land on. Look almost all the way down, try to place the block as early as possible. The most important thing of being a good PvPer is practice. Practice to learn to clutch, practice to learn to jump wich, practice to know how to strafe properly, practice to keep things in mind that are necessary. Some of these things are possible to practice in single worlds. I did this too, it is always handy to do so. We have come to the end of the guide. If you apply all these things to your gameplay, you should feel a difference. I hope I helped you guys out with this, since so many of you guys asked for tips. I wasted the whole evening on this goddamn video, and now it needs to render, which is going to take super long. Oh god, no! Anyways, subscribe if you haven't yet. By doing so, you really help me out grow, so that I can make more videos just like this one. Like this video if I helped you out, and comment any questions that are still unanswered. Or comment something else, whatever. Stay care guys.
Bye bye. Bye. Bye.